G'day, I'm Mark Nelson and welcome to the very first episode of Crash Bike Rebuilds. Today we're going to be having a look at this Honda CBR300R 2016 model. And it's interesting because this isn't actually a crash bike, but I'll show you why I'm including it on this video. Before I get too far into the bike rebuild, the first thing I always do is go and check out what the bike is actually worth. So I normally just go trawling the internet, have a look at a few sites. In Australia, I normally use Bike Sales and Gumtree. Scroll down, look at the condition of the bikes, check out the prices, and then I'll go and put it into Excel and try and map out what I think the current bike that I've got or am looking to purchase is worth. Yeah, what year the bike is selling for, how many kilometers it's got, and what price people are asking for it. And then I'll plot this all out. And what I'll do is I'll add trend lines. Here you can see this is for the 2014. This is roughly price per kilometer trend line. I've done it for the other years and then I've combined them all together. So in the bike that I've got, it's got just shy of 20,000 kilometers. You can see if it was a 2014 model, I'd be looking to ask around 3.8. Now, bearing in mind, people will want to screw you down on price a bit, so this is your asking price. So 3.8 for a 2014. Now, the bike I've got is a 2016, and using the graph for all, it comes out at around 4.2 for a starting price, which is pretty good because the bike was bought for $3,000, which tells you it was probably a good bargain when it was bought. So that tells me I've got a bit of a buffer, because if the asking price is 4.2, hopefully I can sell it for, around the 4 mark. It costs $3,000 to buy, so there's about $1,000 in there that I could spend on parts and still come out even. Let's have a quick look at what we've got going on. All right, front rotors, the worst rotors I've ever seen. There's no way I can clean these out. Maybe I could get some wet and dry and try and sand them out, but I think this looks way too far gone. Everything on this bike is oxidized. You can see the brake calipers fully oxidized. If we look in there, that whole exhaust pipe completely rusted. Looks like it's been sitting in the bottom of the sea. Needs cleaning, taken off, wire brushing, painting. You can see the bike needs a bloody good clean. Let's have a look what's going on. I don't know if this films very well, but this is really badly oxidized, so all those pedals are going to have to come off. The muffler is in really poor shape, and I'm not even sure I can fix this. Maybe I can paint it, I don't know. We'll whip it off, give it a polish, see how it comes up. Alright, so fairings are in good condition, luckily, so I don't have to replace those. Rear rotor, again, this one's probably not as bad. We might be able to clean it up. You can see all the bolts heavily rusted, brake caliper oxidized, corroded, chain completely shagged. Clearly this bike hasn't been maintained at all. Back tyre looks pretty good, plenty of tread again. Foot pegs oxidized. I did notice when I was looking at this before that it had an oil leak. It's probably a bit hard to see until I rip off the fairing. Here, again, the fairing's in good condition. Apart from that, which was due to me when I didn't tie the bike down properly and it dropped in the trailer. If we look up top, you can see here triple clamps, rusted, dust, salt residue. So that's going to have to come off, replaced, cleaned up, repainted. So overall, needs a good clean. We'll pull everything off, take a closer look and see how we go. Alright, as with any build, the first thing is to give it a good clean. So let's whip into it now, see how she scrubs up. Well, I can't say I've ever had to use this before to remove fairing bolts.
Alright, now this is pretty bad. Those fork tubes are rusted, and we'll have to see if they can be cleaned up, but I don't think they'll be roadworthy like that. Top bracket rusted, the rest should clean up fine. The damage, I checked out Facebook Marketplace and saw this cheap CBR on sale, so I picked it up to make for a good parts surrogate bike.
Okay, next step, we're going to try and clean up these fork legs. Normally I just use some wire wool and a razor blade and try and clean it up and try and work out is this just rubbish that's stuck on the surface, which I suspect not, or is it actually eaten through the chrome? Now bear in mind this bike is only a 2016 model, so really it shouldn't have eaten through the chrome unless it's a pretty poor chroming process. Unfortunately, the rust is actually right through the surface, so it's gone through some microscopic holes in there and opened up, as you can see here. So it's unlikely that this would pass a roadworthy, given that they pay fairly close attention to suspension. So we're going to have to swap out the stanch irons with the other forks that I've got and put it back together. Alright, I'm just going to take a few more bits and pieces off before I take the front end out, just to make sure I don't scratch it. And also there's a brake line. It looks like the front brake is connected to the rear brake, which is probably done because this is a learner bike, and it'll make it a bit easier to see what's going on with that. Out in the front wheel, I'll give the brake caliper a bit of a clean. It's just easier whilst it's bolted on here, just with a bit of degreaser and a wire brush. Okay, this is a triple clamp off the bike we bought. I'll probably give it a paint, but what I just noticed is, where's it gone? Just here, if it will focus, there's some damage. So just normally with aluminium, I normally just give it a light file. Now I was struggling to get the bar ends off, and what I ended up doing was looking at the other bar ends that I had, and what became quickly evident was the bar ends have no way of stopping the central portion from spinning. So normally on other bikes the bar ends bolt into a welded nut inside the handlebar or inside the clip-on. On this Honda it goes into a separate sleeve. They've got some sort of like star lock washer thing, but all it does is spin if the bolt's tight. So another fantastic design, clearly not set up for servicing. So at the end I ended up having to hammer the bar ends.
Alright, that's going to be a wrap for today's episode, my very first episode. Apologies that it's not perfect. I've clearly got some more work to do on my YouTube skills, but I'm learning and it's all good fun. If you'd like to see more content like this CBR, or in fact this R1200, which I've just picked up from auction, get rebuilt, then please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll keep taking the time to record this. Thanks for watching.